Hey boo! So today I'm going to be taking down my little braids and talking about interracial relationships. I was scrolling on TikTok and I came across a video that kind of reminded me of a situation I went through, and I want to get y'all opinion on it. Well, first off, I got to show you the video that even brought me here to begin with, right? So let's review the video.
Someone from Facebook reposted my video, and I just want to read some comments for you guys. He could have did better than her. She looked rough. Thank you, Bob. Wait till the end for what? Stupid video and a waste of time. Then keep scrolling, Miss Mandy. Those white girls don't be playing around about getting those athletes. Look at how she showed up to the game.
What I did?
She loves his money more than him.
What is that?
LMAO. He is certified sucker. Ain't no way this yo queen.
Oh.
Steven's kind words said, the only problem I have is she looks like a bag of dogs. Fix yourself up if you're going to represent your baller. Becky looks like a steak with bedhead. Thanks, Steven. We got to stop this mixing. I'm just saying, if your man play ball like that and might have a chance in the NBA, you better put some makeup on your face and dress accordingly, or else he's going to drop you for someone that does. Sorry, Alex. He put a ring on it. How's his Valentine's goals? Nothing happened. And why is she looking sloppy at his game? Do your hair at the very least. Thanks for the advice, Michelle. Couldn't care less what color she is. Them braids need to be redone. I can't disagree. You're right.
Now, with this couple, we got a white girl and we have a black man. I am a black female with a white man. And y'all, we got our own little TikTok. You can go follow it or whatever. I ain't done nothing on a minute. I ain't done nothing on it in a minute. But eventually I'm going to get back to it. When I tell y'all, we got it bad. I mean, I was the bed wench of the century. I mean, Mrs. Bed Wench. And there was a whole bunch of other racial slurs that I can't think of right now. But they went back into time. They went into history with me and my husband talking about our ancestors and how dare I. And all the basic normal ones, like, of course, he must got money because, not to, try to make myself sound good, but basically people was making it like, okay, she's too pretty for him. He got something. And to be honest, my husband is a regular American hard-working man who makes regular money. We ain't nothing special, okay? Nothing special. You don't be seeing my nails done all the time. No. We just living day to day, taking care of our kids. Keeping afloat. And I love him and he loves me. And that's just all there is to it, honestly. He ain't got no whole bunch of money. And I ain't got no whole bunch of money. Okay? But as we go further and further into our marriage, I'm learning maybe we don't look like we belong together. Because when I tell you, people, we will walk into a Panda Express together. And there'll be a lady at the line. And she'll be like taking the orders for you sometimes. Because the line be so full that somebody will actually come to you. People never assume that me and him are together. I would be standing right in front of him like he up on me. People never assume that we're together. We can be standing right next to each other. We can be holding hands sometimes. And if they don't catch that, people never assume that me and my husband are together. I felt the racism for the first time being married to him because, long story short, he walked into a store that was closing and he needed to use the bathroom. We both was traveling. We needed to use the bathroom. He walked in first. I stayed in with the kids. He goes in, comes out, no problem. I walk in. You know what they tell me? We're closing soon, so what do you need? They stressing me out. What do you need? I'll say I gotta go to the bathroom. They say, okay, can you be quick because we're closing soon? So I'll get back in the car or whatever. And then as we drive off, I'm like registering things. So I asked my husband, babe, did they say anything to you when you walked in that store? He's like, no, why? So I told him how I felt about everything that just happened. He ready to turn around and go back to the stove and act a fool. I'm like, no. This is just an experience that, it's just an experience. But here's a man who's going to explain his thoughts and his opinions on it. So let's see what he has to say.
Let me sip my tropical juice. Let me smoke this tropical.
She's absolutely right. A black man with a white woman will never be the same as a white man with a black woman. The reason being is all about perception. When a black man is with a white woman, that black man is seen as a colorist. He's seen as he doesn't love himself and he doesn't love the women in his community. and that white woman is seen as having some type of ulterior motive, or it's fetishizing him. And on the flip side, a white man is basically praised as if he's leveled up, he's gotten to a new level by dating a black woman. And a black woman isn't seen as being with that white man because she doesn't like her community. It's because he respects her and that us black men did her wrong. So in conclusion, when it's a black man and a white woman, it's seen as something is underlying, but when it's a white man and a black woman, it's true love and affection.
Now, a lot of what he said is true. Perception. Everybody sees and thinks what they want, and a lot of people see and think the same thing, most of the times. A lot of people have the same perception, unfortunately. I see it as, maybe I should put less cream in my hair. I kind of like it frizzier. I see it as, let these people be happy. Let these folks be happy. And if they not, let them be miserable. If that's what they want to be together, let them be that. Okay? You want to be broken happy? Be broken happy. You want to be broken miserable? But be broken miserable. And the richest of people still be having the most problems. So, first of all, it don't matter what these people, even if she is with this man for money, he with her for his own special reasons too. You best believe it. Everybody has their own special motives. Like, my husband ain't just with me because I'm pretty. You best believe that if he paying all these bills, I'm cooking these meals and making sure the house is clean when he get home. Like, white or black. Do your part. You know what I'm saying? That's all there is to it, really. I just feel like, let people be happy or let them be miserable. Let them be what they are. Let them be, mind your business. Stay in your lane. Period. But then I came across another video that made me start thinking even more. Like, okay, well, shoot. This lady got a point too. Her point is long, but she gets straight to it. But y'all, she about to spit some stuff in your ear real quick, so.
The community has decided that you are the actual problem. You say that you can't find a good black man. They say that you're overlooking them for the thugs and players. You say that you're not attracted to thugs and you've never dated one. They say that good black men find you to be too masculine. You say you've never had a problem attracting men, just getting commitment and monogamy out of them. They'll say you didn't earn it or that high value men have the right to exercise their options. You'll explain that they aren't that high value because you're going more than 50-50 on everything. They'll say that your standards are unrealistic. You say that you commonly date men who don't meet your standards. They'll say that you need to choose better. You'll say there isn't better to choose from. And here we go back and forth in an endless circle jerk with no one acknowledging the real issues. And why won't they do it? Why won't they simply say that the men aren't playing their part in the institution of black love as protectors and providers, and they're the ones who need to alter their behavior? Well, because admission of failure on their part would be giving you permission to leave them. And a society, however dysfunctional, can survive with very few men, but a society without enough women will crumble. So, as a community, we've decided that come hell or high water, we are going to keep these black women on the hook, waiting and praying and competing for that good black man who will come into their lives and build a family, despite all evidence that this will happen for very few of you. Don't get me wrong, there are some very good black men out there. Hell, there are some even great men out there who are black, and there are some dusty black women, but numbers don't lie. Here's the math. You already outnumber black men, and for a bunch of reasons, more than half of them will never marry anyone. Of those that remain, almost a quarter of them will marry women who are not black. Of the men left, 73% cannot financially support a household alone, and you will have to work. And due to the high rates of infidelity, domestic violence, and financial instability, 42% of these marriages will ultimately fail. Less than a quarter of you who get married will be in marriages where your husband earns more money than you. Less than 8% of those of you who get married to black men will have the luxury of not having to work at all. In fact, most high-earning black men remain bachelors or marry out of their race. So for all of you ladies with hypergamous, rich black girl fantasies, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not likely going to happen, particularly for the more richly melanated sisters and the sisters with the West African body types and the sisters with previous children. Your odds are much worse. But hey, if you believe that you're going to be in that small minority, the 13% of black women overall who are in hypergamous black marriages, and the even smaller percent who have the luxury of being able to stay at home and raise their children, and you want to bet your future on that belief, go right ahead. I can't stop you, but understand that you are the one that's taking on all of the risk, because if you choose wrong and it doesn't work out and you're left with a couple of kids on your arm, you will be the ire of the community, the single mom, aka the woman who didn't choose better, aka the poster girl for everything that's wrong with the black community, and you would have decreased your chances of finding another suitable life partner by half. Ask yourself, why would you make such an important life decision decision knowing that the odds are stacked so tall against you? Well, this pipe dream has been pushed on you since birth. Black love is almost exclusively sold to Black women. Not only is it the thing that you're supposed to want more than anything else in the world, it's your duty to pursue it. A Black woman who marries outside of her race is a bedwench, and the hostility towards her comes from both Black men and other Black women. Why from Black men? Well, frankly, they don't like the sexual competition, and they never thought you could go anywhere else. Part of Black men's power in this relationship dynamic is the belief that there's nowhere else for you to go. And for all of that talk about how you're going to start dating other men, your feet haven't moved an inch, so they've been calling your bluff. But when they see you, the educated, middle and upper class Black women, their only real hope to restore this community, when they see you considering going elsewhere, that's when their feathers get a little ruffled. And other Black women don't want to hear that you're looking at other races of men either, even though it's less marital competition for them, because misery loves company. Who's going to be there to share in the collective trauma bonding on the topic of unfaithful men, download dusties, abusers, and hypergamous dudes who believe that they're the prize? They don't want to be alone caping for a lost cause, and if they're going to throw their legacy and their future away for a fantasy, they need to know that other women are doing the same, otherwise the sacrifice will not have been worth it. It's funny though, Black men don't seem to have this visceral reaction to the idea of other Black men in interracial relationships. Their socialization is much different from yours. Don't get it twisted, it's a hustle. Getting you to believe in Black love ensures their survival while they can go out and be with whomever they want to be with. In fact, most of the time, they seem to believe that they don't need you to create Black children. Their seed is so strong that they can make a Black family all by themselves. Now, if this is a Black child, then two can play that game. Now, let me be clear. Only a Black woman can create this, and this, and this. But if Black men are determined to eugenicize themselves via colorism and externalized self-hatred, there is no reason for you to put your legacy on the line trying to stop them. They've already dubbed biracial Black women as your suitable replacement, and you're not going to be able to stop the incoming buffer race of mixed children that Black men are currently creating from enjoying light-skinned privilege that unambiguously Black children will not take part in. So why try? For those of you who want to have children of your own, your first priority needs to be to give them a father who can protect them and provide for them. And so many Black women ignore this basic requirement. So many Black women watch their children walk to school in unsafe neighborhoods and go to underserved public schools and spend their young adulthood running the gauntlet trying to escape poverty. And for what? For Black love? For a BBC? Is that what you're going to tell your kids their future was worth? Black men are not sacrificing bachelorhood or snow bunnies so that you can feel protected. They have community phalluses and they don't feel a duty to exclusively see you. They don't hold you as a preference among the women that they date. They don't feel like they owe you anything. No manner of shaming them and telling them that they don't like women who look like their mama is going to get them to change course. They don't see you like they see their mama, and if they did, it wouldn't help. Black men's war against the single mother is evidence of a resentment toward the very women who birthed them and raised them alone. They're now looking towards other women that they see as more valuable who aren't so frequently abandoned. But trust me, you are not losing out on anything. Black men have absolutely no history of protecting women. Not on the coast of West Africa 400 years ago, not on the Underground Railroad 200 years ago, not during Jim Crow 100 years ago, and not during the crack boom 50 years ago. They have not ever adequately provided for their families either. And at a time where men of other communities are building and expanding and going to the freaking moon, Black men are in chat rooms complaining about how you won't submit to them, while other men are trying to attain masculinity through achievement, wanting to compete with other men and conquer other men. Black men just want to conquer you. They're obsessed with your submission, possibly because it helps them forget that there are other men who are subjugating them. They blame their ineptitude on feminism, welfare, and white supremacy, and conclude that the solution to this is to chase down women of other races to teach you a lesson. Yet somehow they still achieve similar or worse results with these same women. All those reasons are garbage. The truth is there's a Eurocentric standard of beauty in this world, and your men have bought into it hook, line, and sinker.
Beauty is not subjective. That's why we have the golden ratio, the Fibonacci equation. You can look at facial symmetry and see that beautiful people, you can map their facial structure, and it goes to a mathematical calculation.
Oh yeah.
Beauty is universal. And the thing is, we're talking about Black women. They are on the opposite end of the spectrum on all ranks.
Doesn't this sound strangely similar to the pseudoscientists who argue that the African skull is more similar to an ape and that Black people naturally have lower IQs? But this is coming from supposedly your men in 2021. After all that marching and protesting you all did for them, they won't even protect your image. This is how they see you, as practically untouchables, quick to remind you that you're not anyone's first choice, and while casually forgetting that they're not anyone's first choice either except yours, and yet so many of them still manage to successfully find partners elsewhere. In fact, it's your overt worship of their image that raises their desirability factor amongst other women, because you're the one whose taste everyone else rips off. And nothing, not black men's gaslighting or colorism denying, not the pick-me's bullying or the pro-black rallying, should cause you to forget that your men are the most disloyal men on the face of the earth. And they say that that's your fault. Maybe it is. The signs have been there for a long time. These men were never going to make a real effort toward building a strong black community. It's no secret. You know what building looks like from men because you can see men in other communities doing it. Building looks like sitting in the library until you get kicked out at closing time.
Tell me one lie this woman told. I mean, I'm dead serious. Like, if there's anything you disagree with, write down in the comments and tell me what you disagree with, what you think she lied about. Now, it would sound like, after sharing a video like this, it would sound like I'm against black men. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta be fair and tell you a little bit about, my dating history, to be totally fair. I've really never been with a black man, like, all my life. And I'll tell you why. Growing up in school, I didn't really start dating until I got in high school, really. Growing up in school, all the guys at my school, all the black guys at my school, they was very loud, very rowdy. I mean, rowdy, attention seeking. They would sag. I'm trying to think of maybe just one. There was maybe just one guy who was a decent black guy. And I'm the type, if you like me, I like you. I'm not too picky. Unless I absolutely can't like you. And there was a lot of boys at the school, a lot of black boys in particular, that I just couldn't like. Like, you doing too much, and I don't like that kind of attention. I'm very low-key, laid back. So I didn't date any of the black guys growing up in high school. And a lot of them, they really just flirted with me. They never even actually really tried to attempt to make anything happen with me. It was always just flirting here and there. Only guys of other races actually really tried to pursue me and asked me to be their girlfriend and things like that. So I had a couple, interracial relationships when I was younger. And then as growing up, y'all, I started dating women. And I mean for a really long time. It was so long that I think even my mama started to think that maybe it's not a phase, you know what I'm saying? But it was, obviously, because I, whole married with kids now. And, yeah, so that's what it was. The boys growing up, they was in their phase of, wanting that attention and just being loud and gangsta and just being out there. That was never me, will never be me. I was not twerking then, I ain't twerking now. You know what I'm saying? Then there was this long, little bit over a decade time of me dating strictly just women. And during that time, men didn't even really approach me then. I don't know, because I didn't have a lot. And then came my husband. So that's pretty much what it was. But my honest to God final thoughts on all of this is leave these people alone. Leave me alone. Leave her alone. And if you're going to be in an interracial, I keep stuttering on that word. If you're going to be in an interracial relationship, deal with what comes with it. Because I ain't going to lie, I did not think that if I wasn't beautiful all the time that I was going to be treated differently. Than this bald-headed, basic, regular white man next to me. He still get the better treatment? Whatever. Don't even get me started. I love my little bald-headed husband. But racism is out there. And it's out there on both sides. Black people is more racist than white people nowadays. Keep it real. Keep it real. We just as racist, if not more, than the white folks out there. Okay? And then some of us just ain't. Some of us just don't care about having children that don't look like us. We just want to love our kids. We just want to be happy in our relationship. This white man treat me good. This black man, if he is a good black man, he didn't come in fast enough. Or he didn't do, this white man was more on it than him. That was my case, That's the situation with me. Everybody's situation different. Let people be happy, okay? But if you're going to be happy, take what come with it. And the final thing that I want to say, matter of fact, I ain't going to say it. This woman right here is going to say it for me. And this video, when I came across it, I took it that to heart. I felt a lot of respect for it. So these are my final thoughts on the situation, y'all.
So if you choose to date outside your race and you know that when your partner and your family meet, your family will be racist to them, and you're not prepared to take your partner's side at all costs, defend them at all costs, do not date outside your race. Date inside your own race. Don't you dare subject that person into feeling that they're inadequate, like they're less than, just because you're too weak to take their side. Date your own. Date your own.
I feel like she said it all in plain black and white. She said it clear as day. I will go to war, and I mean war, over my bald-headed, basic, white, whatever, all that stuff on TikTok, they went in on my husband. All that stuff they call him, I will go to war over that man. And my little biracial, white, mix, whatever, they look more white than black. But I will go to war over my little Caucasians, okay? And one thing about my husband, you best believe, he ain't your just little average white man. He will step for mine, okay? I've seen it happen to where I had to put my whole little 100-pound body in front of him and tell him, boy, you're going to have to fight me my husband will step for me, okay? At any given time. And that's what any and every relationship should be like. Like, if you ain't ready to do that, like she said, stay in your own race, okay? And be happy in it. And if you ain't, look elsewhere. Be happy where the hell you happy. That's all I got to say, y'all. I love you, and I hope to catch you in my next video.